Right off the top at noon, two plumbers come to the rescue of a Royal Palm Beach High School student who was stabbed by another student. Good afternoon, I'm Tiffany Kenny, and for the first time, we are hearing from those workers who saved the teenager's life. Whitney Burbank joins us now with their exclusive story. Whitney?
Good morning, Tiff, or good afternoon, I should say. Those two school plumbers now being recognized by the entire Palm Beach County School District for going above and beyond the call of duty. Aaron Glover and his assistant Jimmy Johnson were working on fixing the girls' bathroom at the Royal Palm Beach High School last month when they heard screams from the boys' bathroom next door. The pair ran inside and saw a crowd formed around two students.
So I just bust through the crowd, pushed everybody back. And when I walked in the bathroom, I seen blood everywhere. And the first words came out of my mouth, "What the hell are you guys doing in here?"
Now, one boy, he says, was on the ground in a pool of blood. The other standing nearby holding something in his hands. Glover says he begged the teen to drop it, and he did. Glover and Johnson keeping the students calm while administrators called in police. Soon, emergency crews rushed the student to the hospital with serious stab wounds, and the 16-year-old suspect was taken into custody. Glover and Johnson, however, they went back to work. The suspect was ordered recently to stay in a juvenile facility while the state attorney's office decides whether or not to charge him as an adult. For now, we're live here in West Palm Beach. Whitney Burbank, WPBF 25 News.
All right, Whitney, what a great story that they were there to help. Thank you. Well, breaking news in the world of tennis this afternoon. Maria Sharapova has now been suspended after testing positive for a drug at the Australian Open. This ruling, just announced moments ago, can be appealed. The five-time Grand Slam champion was provisionally suspended back in early March after announcing that she failed the doping test. Sharapova says she was not aware that the World Anti-Doping Agency banned that particular drug. Right now at noon, the heat and humidity are in place for more tropical downpours across South Florida. Meteorologist Chris Martinez is here now with the updated timing of these storms. Chris.
And Tiff, they're starting to flare up right now as we speak. You can see showers and storms. First, we start in towards the Treasure Coast, mainly around Fort Pierce, back to Port St. Lucie, Lakewood Park. We get into some heavy downpours right through I-95, and as we take through portions of St. Lucie County, again, heavy rain, the possibility for lightning as these quickly move towards the north and east at around 30 miles per hour. Down towards the city of Port St. Lucie, just north of you, right around the Rivers Bend area, River Park. Out towards Tradition, you've got another batch of some light to moderate showers headed your direction as well. And as we widen the shot, isolated heavy rains here or there, now beginning to move in towards Indiantown, back through Hope Sound and Jupiter Island, Palm Beach County. Heavy showers now coming in towards Boca Raton, Delray Beach, and towards downtown West Palm Beach. And that is the same deal that we're watching out towards Okeechobee County. And we'll continue to see more showers and storms fire up with the daytime heating. You can see as we go through 3, 4, and 5 o'clock, most of the area getting wet with the heavy rains here across the area and some bigger showers and storms across the Treasure Coast as we move forward to this evening, and it continues even as we head through the overnight hours. So will this aggravate any flooding issues here across South Florida? We'll take a look at that and the rest of your 7-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. And this just into our newsroom surveillance video capturing a robbery at a Subway in West Palm Beach. You can see the suspect jump over the counter and grab the cash register. West Palm Beach police say if you know who this man is, call Crime Stoppers. A woman has now been charged in the mysterious death of her twin sister, and she is due in court today. Allison and Ann Dadao used to own Twin Power Yoga Studios here in Palm Beach County. They were in a Ford Explorer when they crashed over a cliff in Hawaii. Dramatic video shows the SUV plunging 200 feet onto that rocky shoreline. Ann died there at the scene. Her sister Allison survived. She now faces those murder charges. Witnesses say they saw the sisters fighting violently in the SUV just seconds before the crash.
I could see a pair of hands yanking on the driver's head. Just her head was going like this, and she was angrily, arguing with the person, whoever was yanking on her head, and then she was just in a rage.
Allison's lawyers say it was all just an accident. In Commitment 2016 news, Hillary Clinton is making U.S. history. She is now the first woman to clinch the nomination for a major party. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is planning to make his first major general election speech.
Hillary Clinton declaring victory and taking it all in with open arms.
We've reached a milestone. First time in our nation's history that a woman will be a major party's nominee for president of the United States.
Clinton raking in victories in 4 out of 6 nominating contests Tuesday, including delegate-rich California, securing enough delegates to clinch the Democratic nomination, telling ABC's David Muir how significant she thinks a female president would be.
It is, of course, symbolic, but symbols mean something.
Bernie Sanders, meanwhile, still in the race, pledging to fight to win next week's primary in the nation's capital.
And then we take our fight for social, economic, racial, and environmental justice to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
On the Republican side, Donald Trump already trying to poach Sanders' support.
We welcome you with open arms.
Trump reading from a teleprompter, something he's criticized other politicians for.
It was almost as if he was like a circus lion who'd been tranquilized because he had bit too many people.
The presumptive GOP nominee still dealing with the backlash from his own party after comments he made about the Mexican ancestry of the judge presiding over his Trump University case.
The textbook definition of a racist comment.
Too racist and bigoted for the party of Lincoln for me.
And after a big night and a departure for the long primary season, the candidates have exactly 0 campaign events on the calendar today. Lauren Lister, ABC News, Washington.
Friends and family gathered to celebrate the life of a murdered Hobe Sound woman last night. Trisha Todd vanished from her home in April. Deputies say her ex-husband later confessed to killing her. Last night at the service, her family hardly mentioned the crime.
Oh my goodness, Trisha's laugh. It was a beautiful sound. And anyone who heard it knew she was full of joy.
I literally made my wife meet Trisha on our second date and approve of her before I would marry her.
Todd's ex-husband, Stephen Williams, is now in the Martin County Jail. Deputies say he confessed to killing Todd in exchange for a plea deal. And WPBF 25 News spoke to the lead investigator in the Trisha Todd case, and he says Todd's ex-husband was cooperating with investigators and was willing to help when they first talked to him.
He even donated to a fund, a GoFundMe account for her, to try and show he didn't have anything to do with it.
Investigators say when Williams confessed to murdering Todd, that's when they knew he was a dangerous man. Williams is in jail on suicide watch. He's being kept out of the general population because of threats. The Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office is about to pay up again for using excessive force. The Sheriff's Office will pay more than $500,000 to a former U.S. Marshal who says he was attacked by deputies back in 2013. This will be the Sheriff's Office 5th payout since January. A traffic stop last night led to St. Lucie County deputies to arrest Marcos Valdez. Deputies say Valdez had 2 firearms, illegal drugs, and several other drugs without a prescription. Investigators also say he was driving with a suspended license, and one of the firearms was previously reported stolen. Volunteers are handing out bug spray at Gaines Park in West Palm Beach to hundreds of people in an effort to combat the Zika virus. The Homeless Coalition of Palm Beach County says people who live outside have the greatest risk of being exposed to the viruses that the mosquitoes can carry. This season, Zika is a major concern. Yesterday, the Florida Department of Health announced that another local case of the mosquito-borne illness, bringing the total to 8 people in Palm Beach County who have contracted Zika, mostly or all of them through travel-related cases. The controversial Love Street development project is now moving forward. The Jupiter Town Council gave final approval last night. The $30 million project will transform Love Street into a fishing village with places to eat, shop, and stay overnight. Opponents of the project say the marketplace is too big for the Jupiter Inlet area. And dramatic surveillance video captures an attempted abduction, and a mother jumps in to save her daughter.
I've never seen an instance like this in broad daylight in a public area.
Up next, a young Florida girl escapes her would-be captor while her mother holds on, refusing to let go. And after Tropical Storm Colin brought heavy rainfall, a sea cow stops for some grass in a woman's backyard. Images of the storm's aftermath coming up next. Ted?
I'm Ted White at Juno Beach. Now, a loggerhead turtle has spent months at the Loggerhead Marine Life Center for months. Today, they sent her back home to the Atlantic. We'll show the sights and the sounds of the turtle release from Juno Beach.
A shootout on an interstate in Georgia ended with one person dead right in the middle of rush hour traffic. And now police are trying to track down the shooter. Detectives say two people were shooting at each other while they were driving on the interstate, the scene causing a major backup.
Atlanta's crazy. People are crazy. Let's just try to get along.
Investigators say the other driver sped away and they are still searching for that person. An investigation is underway to try to figure out just what led up to that shooting. And incredible video shows a Florida mother fighting off her daughter's would-be abductor. This is so frightening. Check out this surveillance video from the Citrus County Sheriff's Office. You see a man walk into a Dollar General store on Tuesday. He walks up to a mother and her 13-year-old daughter, and then you see him here. He grabs the girl and tries to drag her and run out of the store with her. But the girl's mother holds on to her for dear life, falls to the ground, and refuses to let go.
I've never seen an instance like this in broad daylight in a public area.
Something kicks in. If you're scared, your kid's going to be hurt, your child, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
An off-duty deputy also happened to be there and jumped in to help. The man is now in police custody. Coming up, a major recall on vitamins that could be contaminated with salmonella, the products you need to look out for. And gas price plunge. The new price is expected at the pump just in time for summer travel. You're watching WPBF 25 News at noon.
You're watching WPBF 25 News at noon.
And all new at noon, a sea turtle by the name of Betty White is now finally back at home. She was released at the Loggerhead Marine Life Center in Juno Beach. Ted White was among the crowd to watch the release. Ted?
And it was certainly a welcome sight as hundreds of people were here for this turtle release. And this loggerhead turtle did not disappoint as she made her trek back to the ocean. Meet Betty White. That is the name that doctors at Loggerhead Marine Life Center gave this loggerhead turtle when they found her in the Loxahatchee River back in December. They say she had flotation issues and was sick. Doctors have nursed her back to health, and today they released her into the Atlantic in front of hundreds of excited people of all ages.
Oh, it was adorable. We love them. We saw the turtles nesting the other night, and I want to become a volunteer.
I just say it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
You enjoyed it?
Yes, I did.
It's something that doesn't happen much, but it's pretty fun to watch.
And Betty White, the turtle, has a transistor, a little microphone on the back so they can track her movements within the Atlantic for months and maybe even years to come. That's the very latest. We're live in Juno Beach. Ted White, WPBF 25 News.
Always love seeing those, Ted. Thank you. Well, from sea turtles to sea cows. Have you seen this video out of St. Petersburg? This is after Tropical Storm Colin brought all of those heavy rains to the area. You can see a manatee there snacking on the grass from someone's backyard. The homeowner says she has seen a couple of sea cows over the past few days because they've kind of been pushed that way because of the storm, and they've just really been hanging out on her lawn. And more images show the aftermath of the storm. Take a look at some of the flooding in this Tampa neighborhood where dozens of people had to be evacuated into high water vehicles. The storm spawned water spouts off the coast, and earlier today the National Weather Service says this was a confirmed tornado caught on home surveillance cameras out of Jacksonville. Thankfully, it's now come and gone, and now we're dealing, though, with another round of showers and storms later today. Right, Chris Martinez?
Starting to fill in as we speak, Tiffany. We are talking about a very tropical downpours right now. Very tropical feeling outside. We've got the humidity. We've got tons of tropical moisture, and you can see now we're picking up on more rainfall. In fact, St. Lucie County, you're under a flood advisory until 1:45 this afternoon, with the anticipation of more heavy downpours now coming through Fort Pierce, Port St. Lucie, River Park, Lakewood Park, I-95 just north of your area. You can see again heavy showers continue to move in towards Indian River Estates. South on I-95, Tradition back to Port St. Lucie. Get ready for another batch that is all headed in your direction. These are quick movers, but they are falling on already saturated ground. Zooming out just a little bit, we see more heavy downpours now outside of Stewart, Palm City, Hope Sound, Jupiter Island, and more continue to move through Indiantown and central Martin County right off Lake Okeechobee. And you can see again more scattered heavy downpours, tropical in nature, from West Palm Beach Gardens, all the way down I-95 and towards Boynton Beach and even in towards Boca Raton. And this will continue to be the case, as you can see, with high-res future track through the afternoon and early evening hours. In fact, we could be talking about, again, another inch, maybe 2 inches possible across the Treasure Coast as we head through the evening. You can see good, healthy downpours still in the forecast, even as we go through this evening, 7, 8 o'clock. And finally, slowly but surely tonight, we should turn down any kind of rain shower activity. Yet to do it again tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures warm and humid area-wide into the mid-80s, and that's where we'll hit today. Again, high temperatures want to make it up towards 90 degrees. We'll see what they do with the clouds and rain around. So once we get rid of these showers and storms, you can see we do it again pretty much tomorrow again into the afternoon, with scattered rain showers popping up from the south, moving in into the daytime heating hours, and even into Friday. We got to keep a good chance for some scattered tropical downpours here across South Florida. So with that being said, a little bumpy on the waterways, seas running 2 to 4, moderate chop expected on the inland waterways. Sunset tonight about 8:15, sun coming up tomorrow at around 6:30. So here's a look at South Florida's most accurate forecast. Good rain chances today, tomorrow, and Friday. And then finally, Tiffany, by the weekend, high pressure builds back in and reveals what we really like in South Florida, a little more sunshine by Sunday.
We sure do, Chris. Thank you. A trial date has been set for the man who shot and killed 9 people inside a South Carolina church. Dylan Roof will face a judge on November 7th. The shooting happened almost 1 year ago in Charleston. Federal prosecutors are seeking the death penalty. And long lines are already forming for tickets to Muhammad Ali's memorial. There are 2 services on Friday in Louisville. Some tickets were already distributed to family and dignitaries. Between the 2 services, 22,000 free tickets will be available. Former President Bill Clinton and actor Billy Crystal are set to give eulogies. Former First Lady Barbara Bush turns 91 years old today. She is celebrating with her husband, former President George H.W. Bush, and her family at their home in Maine. A family spokesperson says this year will be quiet. It will be a stark contrast to last year's 90th birthday gala with special guests that included Amy Grant and Reba McEntire. George H.W. Bush turns 92 on Sunday. Well, if you are hitting the road this summer, it will cost you a little less. Prices at the pump will be at their lowest in years. A government forecast says the price for a gallon of gas should average $2.27 for April through September. That is the lowest that prices have been in 12 years. The current national average for gas is $2.36 a gallon. Here in Florida, it's $2.35, and in West Palm Beach, it's $2.46. Well, the head of the TSA says significant progress has been made on shortening those screening lines at U.S. airports. Over the busy Memorial Day weekend, 99% of passengers waited less than 30 minutes and 93% waited less than 15 minutes in regular security lines. The Inspector General testified before the Senate this week on what the TSA did better over Memorial Day weekend.
As a result of our audit reports and a vigorous response by DHS, TSA is now, for the first time in memory, critically assessing its deficiencies in an honest and objective way.
The agency says it's reducing the wait partly by adding more lanes and increasing staff. Washington, D.C. is now the latest city to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. The city will make it official next month. The increase will be phased in. It will eventually hit $15 by the year 2020. And a recall to tell you about involving vitamin products that could be contaminated with salmonella. Pharmavite is recalling their Nature Made line of vitamins and nutritional supplements. Nature Made gummies are being recalled, including the multivitamin, vitamin D, and hair, skin, and nails variations. These products can be returned to the store for a full refund. And the NBA Finals back on tonight with Game 3 between the Warriors and the Cavaliers. Right now, the Warriors have command of this series. They're up 2-0 after dominating the performances on their home court for the past two games. The series is being played in Cleveland now. LeBron James calls tonight's game do or die. Remember, you can only watch the game right here on WPBF 25 and then stay with WPBF 25 News at 11 for a post-game wrap-up with highlights and interviews. Now here's a look at what's coming up on WPBF 25. It's General Hospital at 2, followed by Dr. Oz at 3. Khloe Kardashian will be on Ellen today. Ellen airs at 4 o'clock. I'm Tiffany Kenny with Chris Martinez, and you're watching WPBF 25 News at noon.